The Braves' Tom Glavine has put together one of the finest seasons of his 12-year Major League career. Glavine has been a model of consistency in the heart of the Braves' rotation. Tonight, he tries to become the Major League's first 20-game winner and keep the Braves on top of the race for the National League's best record. Next. Another swing and a miss at the knuckleball. Clutch pitching by Tom Glavine.
He's the best, folks. He is the best.
Great pitch by Smoltz. He is cooking. The Atlanta Braves need one more win for 100. Tom Glavine needs one more win for 20. Tonight it's Game 3 in the series between the Atlanta Braves and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hi, everybody. Pete Van Weren welcoming you to Phoenix, Arizona, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks in their first year in the National League. They beat the Braves for the first time in their history last night. Tonight, the Braves try to get back in the win column, and Tom Glavine tries to create a little Atlanta history. There has only been one other pitcher in an Atlanta Braves uniform to have 3 20-win seasons besides Tom Glavine, and that was Phil Niekro. In fact, since 1900, only 2 other pitchers, Johnny Sain and Warren Spahn, have ever had more than 3 20-win seasons. So tonight, Don Sutton, Tom Glavine tries to hit that 20-win mark for the 4th time in his career to set an Atlanta record, and he's going to face a little bit of a different lineup than he's used to.
Buck Showalter's going to give him a little bit of a test, Pete. Buck Showalter was telling me earlier today what makes Tom Glavine so effective is that he works from the third base side of the rubber to the outside corner to a right-hander, third base side to the right side of the plate. He said he has gotten very comfortable doing that. What I would like to see, he said, is how does he work the other side of the plate. With that in mind, there are going to be 4 left-handers in the starting lineup, something that we have talked a number of times, wondering why other managers don't do. Let's see if Tom Glavine can make the adjustment. 20 wins are something special, though, Pete. It's 19 wins is like sleeping on the front step of the fraternity house. You got to win 20 to get inside.
He could become the Major League's first 20-game winner tonight. It's the Braves and the Diamondbacks back with all the action from the Bank One ballpark right after this.
And your car.
Game 3 of the series. Let's get right to the starting lineups. For the Braves, Ozzie Guillen to lead it off. Gerald Williams gets the start and bat second. Chipper Jones will hit third. It's Andres Galarraga, Javi Lopez, and Andrew Jones, the heart of the order. Danny Batista, Tony Graffinino, and Tom Glavine will complete it. Diamondback defense, DeLucci in left, White in center, Garcia in right. Lee and Bell make up the right side. Batista and Fox the left side. Kelly Stinnett behind the plate. Brian Anderson, a left-hander who has been on a roll of late, 4-0. He and Andy Bennis have been 2 of the best pitchers in the National League in the month of September. Your umpires for tonight's ball game will have Bruce Fremming at first. It'll have Eric Gregg at second, Larry Vanover at third, and the man in the middle of your picture will be the man in the spotlight tonight. Pete, you have a couple of guys who need to locate the ball. If C.B. Buckner doesn't give Anderson the inside corner with his fastball, and if he doesn't give Glavine the outside corner with his changeup, neither one will be able to do what they do to be effectively. Not a whole lot of people think his strikeout is his strike zone is a consistent one.
Well, we'll find out as we go along here. It's a strike to Ozzie Guillen leading off the game. Ozzie at 269 with a homer and 18 RBIs. Playing with the roof open tonight. They opened up the roof here at game time for the first time since late June. But it is still a balmy 95 degrees as we get underway. Looped in the left center field. Good start for the Braves. Ozzie Guillen with a leadoff single. And that is his first career hit in 7 attempts against Brian Anderson.
Nice little bit of hitting. He stayed in on Anderson. Anderson is not going to throw the ball past you, and he's going to throw a lot of strikes. Perfect pitch on the outside corner. Flat-footed hitting by Guillen. He didn't want to get off stride, trusted his hands, and just served it in the left.
Now Gerald Williams, the right fielder, another hitter who over in the American League had a lot of at-bats against Anderson, 14 of them. He's 4 out of 14 lifetime. Anderson, who pitched with the Angels and the Indians before coming over to Arizona, delivers to Gerald Williams, and he fouls it off 0-1.
His 3 pitches are a fastball that he likes to work inside more with against right-handers, a curveball, he will use it inside and outside, and a very, very effective changeup. It's been a while since he's walked anybody, and he's one of the best in the league as far as control is concerned.
And that has always been a strength of his. You look at his numbers, minor league and major league, very few walks allowed. Nobody out here with Guillen at first.
He'll give up a lot of homers, 37 I think, but 25 have come with nobody on base.
And there's a drive to deep left field, fair or foul. If it's fair, it's long gone. It is long gone. 2-run homer for Gerald Williams. And the Diamondbacks jump on top 2-0. Or I should say the Braves jump on top of the Diamondbacks 2-0. Home run number 9 of the year. RBIs number 41 and 42 for Gerald Williams.
And home run number 38 allowed. Every now and then he will give up one with somebody on base. Tries to come inside. Didn't get it in there. Did you see Gerald Williams bring his hands in and get the barrel of the bat on the ball?
That also ties an Atlanta Braves record. 207 home runs now for the team, tying the club record set the first year the Braves played in Atlanta, 1966. They had 207. That record has stood until now. It's just been tied. Now Chipper Jones, a .309 hitter with 34 homers on the year. High in the air, foul territory, first base side. Travis Lee giving chase, and just enough room for him. One gone. Two runs in, one man out. Andres Galarraga, a .299 hitter for the year, steps in. He's right in that bubble right now, trying to get the average back up to 300, and he's been struggling a little lately. Just 3 for his last 21. He takes a strike, 0-1. I know Bobby Cox happy to see that 2 up there in the first inning. The Braves only scored 1 run in the first 2 games combined in this series. 1 ball, 1 strike. In fact, the Braves had only managed 9 hits in the first 2 games of the series, winning 1 1-0, losing 1 5-0.
And if we want to be 100% accurate about it, that 1 run was a lucky break. A bunt down the third baseline that nicked the line and was called fair.
Off the end of the bat, that's a fair ball down the first baseline, headed toward the corner. Galarraga on his way to second as Garcia runs it down in the corner. It's a double for Andres Galarraga. And the Braves getting some pretty good hacks at Brian Anderson here in the first inning. For Galarraga, his 25th double of the year.
Normally you find a shot like this though in a billiard parlor. Good changeup down and away right off the end of the bat. Squirted just inside the line. I bet it wasn't foul more than 2 inches, but he'll take it and put a smile on his face.
Now Javi Lopez back in the lineup after getting 3 nights off. He's hitting .279 with 33 homers. His bat had been a little quiet, 0 for his last 17. So Bobby Cox gave him some time off to rest up a little. And he lines this one right at the second baseman. Bell did not get to the bag in time to double up the runner. Almost a double play.
Jay Bell is learning second base at an advanced career age, a bang-bang play. Got a nice jump to get to that. Wow, that's close. He made an interesting statement. He said, I'm having to think about plays every time. He said at shortstop, he had done it so much that it was automatic. He said, now every situation I have to think about what I'm going to do.
2 men gone now for Andrew Jones, .274 with 30 homers. And he takes the strike in the outside corner, 0-1. 2 runs in on the Gerald Williams home run. In the gap, right center field, long run for Garcia. He can't get to this one over his head. That'll get Galarraga home. Andrew thinking 3, takes a big turn around second. Now we'll head back and hold on with an RBI double. His 85th RBI of the year. He now leads the club with 32 doubles, and it's a 3-0 Atlanta lead.
Pretty good pitch out away from, may have been a little bit higher that Anderson wanted. This is not a good play by Kareem Garcia. He ran a fade pattern and really didn't have a good angle on it. Andrew Jones decides, nah, a little bit close. One thing they did do is get the ball back to the cutoff man in a hurry. And look, did you see where Travis Lee was? Now here's a young first baseman, first year in the big leagues, but with good enough instincts to follow the runner down. A lot of times you concede the double and you don't sweat it, but he followed the runner down and was in position that if he had gone too far and hadn't gotten back, he was there to take a throw.
3 runs in on 4 first-inning hits.
I think I'll go, and then he takes a peek and sees the ball coming back in, but you'll see Travis Lee right there in the picture at second.
Now Danny Bautista getting the start tonight. He lines the first pitch. He sees left center field. Devon White there to make the catch. And a very shaky first inning comes to an end for Brian Anderson. He was hit hard. Braves scoring 3. 2 of them coming on that swing by Gerald Williams. 3-0 headed to the bottom of the first.
In every class, there's always one.
Braves with 3 to play with as the Diamondbacks come to bat. Here's Buck Showalter's batting order. It is going to be Andy Fox leading it off. Jay Bell to bat second. Devon White is the third place hitter. The heart of the order: Travis Lee, Tony Batista, and David DeLucci. Kelly Stinnett, Kareem Garcia, and Brian Anderson will complete the batting order. 4 left-handed hitters in the 8 starters. Defensively for the Braves, it's an outfield of Batista, Jones, and Williams. It's an infield first to third of Galarraga, Grafino, Guillen, and Jones. Javi Lopez behind the plate. And Tom Glavine, who has done some of his best work away from Turner Field. That's an exceptional earned run average. Look what the opponents are hitting away from Atlanta.
And here is Andy Fox to lead off, one of those left-handed bats. He's hitting .286, 9 homers on the year. And he takes a strike in the outside corner. 0-1.
That's the pitch right there that Buck Showalter wanted to see if he could make. It's very easy for Glavine with his across his body delivery to stand near third and throw to the outside corner for a right-hander. This requires more work.
Well, he's hit the first 2 out there. 0-2. Jay Bell will follow, then Devon White. Just missed inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Graphic we showed you left-handers hitting about 10 or 11 points higher against Tom Glavine. That's not a lot, but it does show you where Buck Showalter's thinking is coming from.
Here's the 1-2 on the way and slowing outside 2-2. And if you think about one of the right-handed bats that's not in there, it's at the position Andy Fox is playing tonight. He's playing third base. Matt Williams out of the lineup. That's a pretty good bat to be taking out against the left-hander, although Matt Williams is hitting less than 200 lifetime against Glavine. Here's the 2-2 now to Fox. Little tap toward third. Chipper Jones charging. Fields on the first. Long stretch by Galarraga. Got him. 1 down.
Nice play on both ends because Fox gets out of the batter's box in a hurry. Off balance throw. Galarraga can make this play because he doesn't commit until he sees where the ball is going to go. You'll see a lot of first basemen who will already be stretched one way. Now they'll have to come off the bag or adjust, but he stands flat-footed till he sees where the throw's going to go, then adjust to the throw.
Now Jay Bell, a .251 hitter for the year with 19 homers. He has 67 career at-bats against Glavine, hitting .284 lifetime against him. He takes a strike in the outside corner, and right now C.B. Buckner, the plate umpire, is giving both pitchers
Sure is.
the benefit of those borderline calls.
Some of the Diamondback people here were saying that in Andy Bennis's near no-hitter, C.B. Buckner was behind the plate, and it said as the night went along, the strike zone got smaller.
You might remember a game last year with Atlanta and San Francisco. They just called up William Van Landingham, and he made a start against the Braves. And C.B. Buckner, I think it was his first major league game behind the plate, and he could not throw a strike. Van Landingham, anything that he threw close to the plate was called ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, ball 4. He eventually wound up walking like 7 men in 1 inning.
A lot of people think that that may have been the beginning of the end for William Van Landingham.
He's never really recovered. 3-1 the count now, and Jay Bell. All the way 3-2. In fact, I think Van Landingham quit earlier this year. He was being demoted by the Angels from AAA back to AA, and he refused to report. But you're right, he never really bounced back from that start. 2 pitch to Bell. In the air, shallow left field. Here's a test for Bautista in that ailing knee, and he makes the running catch. He's playing with a brace on the knee. He's got what they call a loose knee. There's some cartilage damage in there. It's going to have to be repaired surgically when the season's over.
But the smart thing that he did was grab the ball and keep running. You can see the brace very visible on the right leg. It's not hampering his running, but he doesn't slam on brakes. He just keeps running.
So 2 men are gone here in the bottom of the first, and now Devon White. Braves using these final games to try to answer a lot of questions about the makeup of their 25-man postseason roster. And one of those questions is about Bautista. Is he going to be able to contribute in postseason? They'd like to get his right-handed bat available off the bench. But he's got to show them first that that knee is good enough to get him through the rest of this year. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Devon White.
There's a pitcher in the National League that wears that on both. I can't remember who it is. He's with Houston. And it really looks strange to see a pitcher pitching with 2 on.
2-1 the count now on Devon White. Outside corner, it's 2-2. White's only 1 for 10 lifetime against Glavine.
Well, if he has been vulnerable to one thing in his career, it's been the changeup. In a good position to get it here.
Full count. Travis Lee waits on deck.
But you can see from that shot we've just shown you with those pitches with Tom Glavine what Buck Showalter's talking about. His angle takes him right to the outside corner to a right-hander. He really doesn't have to do a whole lot of work to get the ball out there.
And he gets Devon White swinging for a 1-2-3, bottom half of the first inning. First strikeout of the night for Glavine. We go to the second. 3-0 Atlanta.
I got a story. My brother knew these guys who were going.
Top of the second, it's 3-0. Let's get an early look at our Wendy's leaderboard. It involves one of our starting pitchers. Fewest walks per 9 innings. The best control in the league belongs to Mr. Anderson. Reed, Lima, Maddox, Portugal, and Brown. Some pretty good company and some very successful control pitchers.
3-0 Braves up as we go to the top of the second. Tony Graffinino at 2:08 for the year leads it off against Brian Anderson. Anderson was a good athlete. He's out of Wright State in Ohio, and he lettered in baseball, basketball, and golf. The left-hander's 1-0 pitch.
Well, 2 of the 3 would qualify him to be a starting pitcher in the big leagues.
Yes.
Baseball and golf.
Now the 1-1. After changeup by Graffinino, it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Buck Showalter has a philosophy about starting pitching that your good athletes, your guys who could have done a number of sports, will be your starting pitchers. He said the guys who are pitchers but not maybe as good athletes are going to be the guys that you put in the bullpen because you expect them to master one thing. You don't expect them to be as good athletes as a starter.
Down the left field line, Graffinino had a good cut. This one's going to land foul up into the seats. Boy, Anderson's really left some pitches up, hasn't he, early in the game?
And he's done it on pitches he's tried to come in on. He's very effective when he can get inside strikes with about an 87, 88 mile-an-hour fastball. It opens up the outside corner for his backdoor breaking ball and the changeup.
Now the 1-2 to Graffinino. That missed outside. Pitcher Tom Glavine will follow, and then back to the top of the order, and Ozzie Guillen. One away, and that'll bring up Glavine, hitting .258 for the year, driven in 7 runs, 17 hits as tops on the pitching staff. Trying to win 20 games for the 4th time in his career, and that's something, as you saw in our open, that's been accomplished by Braves pitchers only 2 other times. Warren Spahn with 13 years of winning 20, Johnny Sain with 4. There were several more pitchers in the late 1800s that did it.
A Okay, looking at that graphic, would you say he qualifies to be a starting pitcher under Buck Showalter's
absolutely.
expectations?
And knowing his background, you know about his athleticism, not just baseball ability, but was also drafted by the Los Angeles Kings of the National Hockey League. 2 gone, and Ozzie Guillen will be the hitter. Ozzie got the first inning going for Atlanta with a base hit. See that little motion by Tom Glavine? He was telling Ozzie Guillen, go ahead. I want to get back out there and pitch. Don't have to wait for me to get back to the dugout.
Well, 3 runs early will put that thought in your mind and that spring in your step.
Ozzie now 272 for the year. Inside corner 0-1. Nothing and 2 on Guillen, who gets a lot of base hits on that swing. Pitches down and away, and he kind of just reaches out and tries to hit it the opposite way. He's shaking his head there. That one might have been a little bit too far for him to reach.
I'm surprised they play him as deeply in left field as they do, because he's not going to hit it over the left fielder's head.
Here's the 0-2.
His power is to right field when he gets a pitch up middle in and he's looking for it. So you wouldn't if you ask somebody about Ozzie Guillen, you would say, well, he's a spray hitter, more of a pull hitter.
And now another 0-2 pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's able to hit that pitch the other way because his style of hitting spreads out, picks up his front foot, but he puts it back down. He doesn't really get way out in front, so he's off balance. So he could use his hands to serve it below.
Still a ball and 2 strikes on Ozzie Guillen. Another good crowd here at the Bank One ballpark. They've drawn well over 3 million in their inaugural year. And the Diamondbacks need to win just 1 more game to avoid 100 losses. And that's always something that expansion teams sort of shoot for. They don't want to be buried that first year, and losing fewer than 100 games is considered acceptable if you're in your first year. Fox giving chase over near the Arizona dugout, but has no play.
You know what they're finding with their players too, the Braves have found it and a lot of other organizations, is the players like it here. Most of the players are relocating to this area and becoming a part of the community. They'll be around it all year long. Their spring training is just down the freeway a little ways, so they have a lot of good things going for them to entice players to come here and play.
Again, the 1-2 on the way to Guillen. Toward short, Batista retires his counterpart. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Brian Anderson. Still 3-0 Atlanta. We go to the bottom half of the second.
Hey, Jeff, what you...
A busy Office Depot scoreboard. Let's get right to it. Cincinnati over Chicago. The Mets win, so they're tied in the wild card race. San Francisco just beat up on the Dodgers. Pittsburgh over Houston. Francisco Cordoba won his 13th. St. Louis at Milwaukee still going at it in the 8th inning. Colorado and San Diego early. Philadelphia has taken an early lead over Montreal. Oh, that's a final now. Kansas City over Cleveland 7-6. The Yankees got beat by Baltimore. Calvin Pickering's first ever home run. Detroit nipped Minnesota on Damon Easley's 26th homer. Shall I continue? Chicago over Boston 5-2. Tampa Bay wins. Oakland and Texas going at it early. Oakland on top of that. Seattle at Anaheim just underway. It's the Office Depot scoreboard.
And it's already 0-2 on Travis Lee. Hitting .267, 20 homers. Chipper Jones. He had him played well off the line. Good thing. Otherwise, that's a base hit. 1 away.
Well, 2 of the left-handers have had good swings at Tom Glavine. Fox hit the ball well to Chipper Jones. And now Travis Lee taking that outside pitch that Buck Showalter's trying to force Glavine to throw it, hitting it hard to Chipper Jones.
That'll bring up Tony Batista, and I bet you every kid in Phoenix, Arizona, and thereabouts is attempting this stance at one time or another, whether it's in a backyard game or a little league game or whatever, just to see what it's like.
And every little league coach is going nuts watching it.
0-1. When my kids were growing up, Gene Garber was pitching in Atlanta. You would have thought he was the inventor of Little League baseball. Nice running catch by Gerald Williams. Every kid back then was doing that whirly-twirly sidearm motion of Gene Garber's.
Good jump by Gerald, keeping his eye on the ball. Now he's got to pick up the stands in a hurry, but it's padded. That helps. Good running catch.
2 away. That'll bring up David DeLucci, another left-hand hitter, hitting .261, a league-leading 11 triples. Taking ball 1.
They don't expect him to try to pull. The room is in right center field and down the right field line.
2-0.
Danny Batista fairly deep, but really close to the line in left field.
You can see on that shot some of the problems they've had here at Bank One Ballpark trying to get the grass to grow in this retractable dome stadium. They'll continue to experiment with various combinations until they get it right.
I like the explanation you said the professor gave, that it's confused.
Yeah, there was a story in a local magazine here about the situation here at the Bank One Ballpark with the grass. And of course, during the hot daytime, the roof is usually closed. About the only time they open up the roof is at night for night games. And they said, well, the grass is, he said the grass is confused. It's dark in here during the daytime, and it's getting the air at night. Makes as much sense as anything, doesn't it? Second strikeout for Glavine, a second straight 1-2-3 inning. 3-0 Atlanta.
We have the how-to clinics.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
And you see the pool area here at the Bank One Ballpark. That is booked all the way through the next 3 years. 4 home games here. They can accommodate a group of up to 35 folks.
They get a nice little chunk of per diem to do it, too.
Gerald Williams, a 2-run homer in the first inning. To get the Braves going. He takes ball 1 outside from Brian Anderson. 9 homers now, 42 RBIs for Williams, and 11 hits in his last 21 at-bats, including 4 homers. 9 RBIs. 2-0. And again, that home run giving the Braves 207 on the year, tying their team record set back in 1966. And Hank Aaron and Felipe Alou and Joe Torre. People like that were wearing a Braves uniform.
Is Mac Jones in that lineup?
Mac Jones was there. The third baseman. Fox retires Williams, 1 away. And now Chipper Jones, who fouled out to Travis Lee his first time up and is now 0 for his last 11. You might see him get a day or 2 off this upcoming final week.
What you might see him do is get tomorrow off, then Monday
because of Monday, yeah.
It would be almost like having 72 hours off, because then he wouldn't be playing again until Tuesday evening.
I told you last night, Bobby trying to give at least one regular the day off every game. Tonight it's Ryan Klesko now in the lineup. Galarraga didn't play last night, nor did Lopez. Just trying to keep everybody fresh. It's a tricky thing, too. When you've clinched as early as the Braves have, it's tricky to try to determine what does a player the most good. You don't want to rest him too much so that he loses his sharpness. But you also, if he's tired, don't want to overplay him that final week.
And every player is different, too. That's what complicates the mix for Bobby Bobby.
Little tap toward third. Fox charging this one. Fields, throws, and that's a good play. by the versatile Andy Fox, who has played 6 different spots this year, all 4 of the infield positions and 2 outfield spots.
He has become a favorite here, and he's certainly a favorite of his managers. Loves the way he plays. Nice pickup. Got a lot on that throw off balance. It's a tough play to make. On the move, to have to throw accurately and with something on it.
2 away. That'll bring up Andres Galarraga. Doubled his first time up. That's back the first offering from Anderson, 0-1. Well, you saw in those scores that Don gave you at the beginning of the inning. We got a tie again in the National League wild card race. The Mets and the Cubs and the Giants back in the picture. They're only 3 out. Houston losing, so a win by the Braves tonight will put them 2 games up again in the battle for the best record in the league. That's what the wild card looks like. Boston 5 up on Toronto. They both lost today. Booted by Batista. Can he recover in time? No.
They're going to score that a base hit. Tricky hop drops it here. By the time that he recovers it, Andres Galarraga, who should get some credit for hustling all the way, it's the infield single.
He'll take that hit. Seen that score the other way
most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. Now Javi Lopez, who popped his line out to second, rather, his first time up, and is now 0 for his last 18. Could use a base hit here. 1 ball, no strikes.
This is the kind of pitcher, though, that Javi Lopez launches if they don't locate the ball perfectly. Middle speed pitcher, off speed.
He hit the ball right on the nose his first time up, but right out Bell at second. It's a strike, 1-1. 2 men out. Galarraga, the runner at first. Batista backpedaling, making the call, and the catch for out number 3. So the infield hit by Galarraga is it for the Braves in the 3rd. Still 3-0 as we head to the bottom half.
Sunday, will the relegation.
Heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield and boxing great Sugar Ray Leonard will serve as analysts for TNT's Title Night Live on Tuesday at 9 o'clock. TNT Title Night is highlighted by IBF World Lightweight Champion Shane Sugar Mosley taking on #1 contender Eduardo Morales, as well as a couple of other title matches will be on the card that night. So we invite you to tune in Tuesday at 9 o'clock.
Going to the bottom half of the 3rd, it'll be Kelly Stinnett, Kareem Garcia, and Brian Anderson do up against Tom Glavine, who's retired the first 6. Arizona closing in on a record that Mike Swanson, the public relations director of the Diamondbacks, has put in very small print in their notes, almost as if you have trouble finding it. Nice play by Glavine to throw out Stinnett. But with their 2 strikeouts tonight, the Diamondbacks have now struck out 1,197 times this year. That's only 6 shy of the National League record. So 6 more Diamondback strikeouts, and they will be in the book in a rather embarrassing category. Here's Kareem Garcia, 220 with 6 homers, 34 RBIs. And a lot of strikeouts, 73 strikeouts, only 18 walks.
They're a little frustrated with his approach to hitting. Also, I don't know whether he's on a weight training program or more per diem, but he's put on some weight since he was a part of since he became a part of the Diamondbacks.
That might get through. No, diving stop by Graffinino. Can he throw him out? Yes, what a play by Tony Graffinino. That saved a base hit. And makes it 8 in a row now, retired by Glavine.
3 good things. Good range, timed it perfectly, smothered it. Now you still have to get up and make a quick, accurate throw. Good play. See, Garcia really didn't get down the line as fast as he used to.
Out by a full step.
Yeah, out by plenty. Nice play by Graffinino.
Now the pitcher, Brian Anderson, hitting .098 for the year. He is 6 for 61.
I like something the Diamondbacks have done with Anderson. Throws left, bats right, so that left elbow is vulnerable. They're not taking any chances. He hasn't been plunked there, but he's already wearing the arm protector that we see Andres Galarraga wear and Barry Bonds wears. Just an ounce of prevention.
He's one of the few pitchers around that's a switch hitter. You don't see too many of them that work that hard on their hitting to enable them to.
Seems like an awful lot of work to hit .068.
Yeah. And sinking. 1, 2, 3, and a ground out to third. 9 straight retired by Tom Glavine, and his bid to win 20 for a 4th time in his career.
People smile and tell.
Through gas relief liquid soft gels.
Top of the 4th inning here in Arizona. Braves lead it 3-0. It's time for our Aflac trivia question. Our question tonight: who holds the major league record for consecutive innings pitched without allowing a walk? Right.
I know the answer to this one.
Right now, I think we're looking at 100 and almost 135 consecutive hitters for Brian Anderson.
Andrew Jones will lead off here in the 4th inning. He'll be followed by Danny Bautista and Tony Graffinino. No home runs today for Sammy Sosa or Mark McGwire, but Manny Ramirez, what a story he's become. 8 home runs now in his last 5 games, up to 45 home runs this year for Cleveland. And that's one of those seasons that outside of the Cleveland area, where the fans, of course, are well aware of him, he's going to hit between 45 and 50 home runs, and hardly anybody's going to know about it. There'll be a lot of players having great years that are going to get overlooked. Guys like Vinny Castilla, having a tremendous year. McGwire and Sosa have stolen all of the offensive headlines.
Well, he was one of the guys most talked about, but recently Ken Griffey Jr. just a footnote.
Right. 2-0 pitch to Andrew. Pretty well hit to left. DeLucci backpedaling. Makes the play, 1 down. And to bring up Danny Bautista.
And come here, Pete. I feel like it's almost like a reunion. Buck Showalter, Jay Bell, Jim Presley, all from Northwest Florida, South Alabama. And Buck Showalter invited a couple of buddies out for the weekend. Steve Stanton and Richard Armstrong from Flumenton, Alabama. They were telling me that one of them was a guard for Buck Showalter's high school football days, and this is a reward for his never getting hit as a quarterback.
Took him long enough to pay off. Wow.
Well, he got to a point where he could now.
Man.
Well, he invited them to New York a lot, but they kept turning him down.
That I can understand. 0-1 to count on Danny Bautista. Fly to center his first time up. You know, usually those quarterbacks take their linemen out to dinner the next night.
Away.
And they wait 17, 18 years to get the thank you gift.
I think it was that old Bubba Smith from Jay, Florida that kept trying to get in on. What was he big?
In a straightaway center. That's no man's land with a guy like Glavine Wright out there. He's still one of the best in the business. One of the smoothest fielding center fielders. 2 gone. And Tony Graffinino will step in. He fly to center his first time up. Anderson settling down after giving up 3 in the first. Another fly ball, center field. And a 1-2-3 inning for Brian Anderson. Braves go quietly in the 4th, going to the bottom half. Still 3-0 Atlanta.
There's our Aflac logo, so let's refresh your memory as to our question. Who holds the major league record for consecutive innings pitched without allowing a walk? Well, he has gone from pitching to trying to drum that into young pitchers.
One of my favorite people.
And mine, the guy who holds that record, Bill Fisher, and he did it with Kansas City back in the early 60s, 84 in the third innings. Brian Anderson now not even halfway there. He has 35 in a row. The Fish, one of the best, and at one time or another, a lot of pitchers have fine-tuned their game under the tutelage of a good guy, Bill Fisher.
And when a pitching coach tells you, a young pitcher, and Bill has been at the Richmond ball club now for the last 2 or 3 years, tells a young pitcher, throw strikes, trust your stuff. If that young pitcher needs proof of that, just look at that record. And he has held on for a long time, set that record back in the 50s. Andy Fox leads off here in the 4th inning. Grounded out to third, 9 straight, retired by Glavine. One ball, no strikes.
And with a minimum of effort, that's only his 35th pitch of the night.
Right down the middle for a strike, 1-1.
It looks like he's answering some questions for Buck Showalter.
I don't think anything bothers Tom Glavine. He's got one of the most unflappable demeanors out there on the mound of any pitcher around.
And a little misunderstood because people categorize people like him as unemotional. That's not true. He's deeply emotional, but he's able to channel it and control it. He was sat behind him on the bus to the park today, and he's very excited about the possibility of winning his 20th.
And why shouldn't he be when you look at the short list? They've done it as often as he has a chance to do it tonight. 10 straight set down by Glavine.
He also wouldn't really like to see his workload changed unless he's going to come back a day early to get ready. He wants to stay on the same schedule. He's one who believes that you don't start altering it this close to the most important time of the year.
Bell flied to left his first time up. Kevin Millwood, by the way, is going to get one more start. Bobby told us before the game tonight that he will start the first game in the Florida series on Tuesday. Bruce Chen gets the start here tomorrow. They're skipping over John Smoltz start. And then Bobby and Leo and John Sherrills and Dean Taylor will also be arriving in Florida when the team gets there. They're going to sit down and try to figure out the order that they want to pitch these starting pitchers in the division series. And then schedule the pitching for the rest of next week around that. The complicated part of it is, first of all, you have 2 off days next week. Monday's an off day, Thursday's an off day. And then the Braves don't know and may not know till, who knows, maybe even a playoff a day after the season. May not know till then who they're playing or when they're playing. They might open up that division series on Tuesday. They might open it on Wednesday. If they don't open till Wednesday, that's 2 more off days after the final game of the regular season. So they've got to really think this one through and figure out who's going to pitch on what days and how long, so that they are at their sharpest when their turn comes up. The 2-2 driven by Bell, foul. The one thing that they definitely want to avoid is whoever they pick is the number 3 starter in that opening series. They don't want to pitch that guy next Friday, right, and then not have him pitch again till the following Saturday. That would be too long a layoff. So they've got to really think it through as to how they're going to work it. Something else they have to take into consideration too, and that's that weekend series next weekend against the Mets. That might be huge for the New York Mets, and you've got to throw your best out there, especially if you're trying to eliminate the Mets, and the Braves would just as soon see the Mets go away.
You have to do it anyway to protect the integrity of the sport.
So there's a lot of things have to be decided between now and the end of the season about the Braves pitching rotation. Well, there's the base hit that breaks up the string of 10 straight retired by Glavine. Jay Bell starting on his next 1,500 hits. He got number 1,500 in his career last night. And he's aboard with 1 out here in the 4th for Devon White. White struck out his first time. We talked about Tom Glavine and the way he never seems to change expression out there in the mound. Here's a guy who never seems to change expression in the field or at the plate. Same kind of makeup.
And he's been that way since his first day in the big leagues. I was playing with him with the California Angels, his first day in the big leagues. Back-to-back, the California Angels had two of the finest defensive center fielders you would ever see. And Glavine White stepped into the big leagues looking like he had been a major leaguer for 10 years. He replaced a good one named Gary Pettis. Remember him? Well, both of those guys could go get it.
Glavine White has 3 World Championship rings from this decade. 2 from Toronto in '92 and '93, and 1, of course, from the Marlins last year.
That's pretty select company, too, in a very small crowd.
That's a foul ball, 1-2. Glavine tonight going for his 173rd career win. Just missed inside, 2-2. Maybe 2. Glavine, Ian, that's all. Little broken bat one-hopper, hit a little too softly to get the double play turn, but they do get the force at second. Glavine White, who runs well, becomes the runner at first.
Glavine gives him the toss, but watch what Ozzie Guillen does. Hit the bag and get out of the way. Don't even try to do it. And he actually turned to Eric Gregg and gave him a little, didn't he slide a little far out here? Because Jay Bell wasn't able to touch the bag from where he was sliding. Very easy could have called that a double play.
2 gone. Now Travis Lee, who lined out to third his first time. One ball, no strikes. A lot of guys in the locker room before the game talking about maybe the most unusual transaction that any of us have ever seen in the newspaper this morning. Talk about it a little later because Ozzie Guillen and Danny Bautista and Andrew Jones are converging, and Bautista makes the catch for out number 3. And all the Diamondbacks get is that base hit by Jay Bell. It is still 3-0 Atlanta.
They come from all over, but makes sense.
Tom Glavine leads off the 5th. Braves up 3-0. Glavine bounced to the pitcher his first time. Takes a strike in the outside corner, 0-1. Talking about the transactions column in the newspaper this morning. Normally you look through that and you see this player was called up, this player was sent down, this player put on the disabled list, this player came off the disabled list. Can never remember seeing one like this morning. Ruben Amaro Jr., the outfielder for the Philadelphia Phillies. He's been their 4th or 5th outfielder the last 3 or 4 years. Announcing his retirement at the end of this season to become the assistant general manager of the Phillies. But a change. Was he 33 years old?
No more than that.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now
it's very unusual. You normally see a player, if a player is kept by an organization, it's usually as a hitting instructor or a coach, right, something in uniform. You rarely see a player move straight from the playing field up to the front office like that. It's a fairly responsible role. Very responsible role.
Yes, and a busy one.
1-2 on Tom Glavine. Down strikes.
Yeah, I don't see assistant general manager Dean Taylor when he isn't in a dead run most of the time.
He's always on the go, isn't he? Ozzie Guillen, 1 for 2 on the day. Singled and grounded out to short. So far tonight, the fears of both managers about perhaps a restricted strike zone from C.B. Buckner. It's not happening. His strike zone has been very fair.
Very fair and very consistent.
Out of play, 0-2.
You get it on the edge or right at it. They've been getting the call. And I think his strike zone vertically has been good, too. Usually umpires who go horizontal won't go vertical. They'll give you the belt and below, but nothing above that. His strike zone has been at the letters, top of the knees, and at the corners.
Game sidearm. That's against the Union rule, isn't it? Against the left-hand hitter. DeLucci makes the catch. 2 gone.
They'll be brought up in the winter meetings.
Now Gerald Williams, see that look back?
What's the matter with you?
Where'd that come from? 2 away. Here's Williams, who homered in the first inning with a man aboard, his 9th homer of the year, lined out to third in the third. First pitch, swinging fly ball, deep right center field. White and Garcia converging. It's been a drop between them. Williams on his way to second, and he's in standing with a double. Well, he is just in a groove right now. 2 for 3 in this game, 12 for his last 23, and a lot of power.
And it hasn't been just one pitch or one location. He's a free swinger. I'm not even sure that was over the plate, out and away. Didn't try to pull it. Took it to the gap. He had a lot of room. This ballpark will give up a lot of doubles and triples, and he just found one in the perfect spot.
Hit number 6 off of Anderson. Now Chipper Jones is 0 for 2. And 0 for his last 12. Ball 1. 2 men out. Williams at second. Two and 0 the count on Chipper Jones. Into right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Gerald Williams got a great jump. Let's see if he can beat the throw home. He is out. Oh, a late call by C.B. Buckner. He waited to see if Kelly Stinnett held on to the baseball. Once he was assured he had, he called him out. So Garcia throws out Gerald Williams trying to score on the base hit by Chipper Jones to end the top half of the 5th inning.
$7,777.
Well, let's take another look at a bang-bang play at the plate, Joe.
It looked like Gerald stepped over the tag initially, Skip. Kelly Stinnett reaches back to try to swipe at him.
Yeah, he might have gotten him there.
On that angle, it looks like he might have, but what troubled me was how long it took C.B. Buckner to make a call. He looked over at Gerald, then looked at the catcher and called him out. Maybe he was just looking for the baseball.
Tony Bautista leads things off here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. He hit that one twice, 0-1. Joe Simpson, Skip Carey with you now.
Tom Glavine's been sharp. Only 1 hit allowed. He's throwing a lot of strikes, and for the first time in a long time, seeing a lot of left-handed hitters in the lineup.
I told him before the game tonight, I said, get me out of here in an hour and 55 minutes. I'll be darned, he's trying to do it. Our producer Glenn Diamond really getting with the Western motif in his Levi's tonight. Tex Diamond. The 1-1 pitch. Line, good play. Chipper, 1 out. That ball was hit right on the schnozola. 1 away. David DeLucci, the batter.
Both third basemen have been busy tonight. Andy Fox had a couple of line drives hit at him, and now Chipper's handled a couple too. And Chipper has been playing closer to the line tonight with Glavine pitching, and I think that's why Jay Bell was able to punch that base hit through the hole.
Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. 48,405. 19th sellout of the year for the Diamondbacks. Glavine delivers. Line. Oh, Galarraga didn't know he had it. Steps on the bat. 2 out.
He knew he had knocked it down. He didn't know it stayed in there.
What a pleasant surprise. 2 out.
One of those look what I found plays. Hard hit by DeLucci. Galarraga knew it was around somewhere.
Well, if it's not there, maybe it's in my glove.
I knew I had it all the time. Just wanted to see if Bruce Fleming knew I had it.
2 out for Kelly Stinnett. Low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Boy, this Cy Young thing. Glavine, Smoltz. The way things look right now, one of those two probably should get it. Kevin Brown has struggled a little bit in his last 2 starts. Shane Reynolds, another guy you could think about.
Trevor Hoffman, I think, is a likely candidate too. He has had a little trouble the last couple of outings too, but 2 outings out of about 50, that's not too bad, as many saves as he's racked up.
I'll tell you what, I'll probably start on an argument with you, but I think that Rolaids Relief Award should be a major award for relief pitchers. That'll be easy. Who wants it? Tony B gets it, and the inning is over. We'll talk about it when we come back. At the end of 5, 3-0 Atlanta.
TBS Destination Sunday.
3-0 Atlanta as we go to the 6th inning. Time for tonight's Budweiser game summary, and it's mostly Tom Glavine tonight. He has only given up 1 hit. Retired the first 10 batters he faced before Jay Bell got him for a hit. And the Atlanta Braves capitalized on some big hits in the first inning to put 3 runs across, including Gerald Williams' 2-run home run to drive in Ozzie Guillen.
Andres Galarraga will lead it off here in the top of the 6th.
And we've got the roof open tonight too, and that's a pleasant night.
First time since June 27th. The cat takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Seeing that big hat. What's that expression they have down in Texas? Big hat, no cattle?
That's it. I don't know if that applies to a sombrero, though.
No, that's supposed to be a Stetson, right?
Yeah.
The 2-0 pitch. Foul back and out of play. It's 2-1. The wave has broken out here.
Boy, Manny Ramirez has decided to put his name on the home run list, hasn't he? 2 more homers today.
That's 8 in 5 days, isn't it? Something like that. Long run for the right fielder Garcia, but he runs on the road. 2 balls, 2 strikes. After a horrible first inning, Brian Anderson has settled down, pitched good ball. He has a newspaper column here once a week in Phoenix, a local paper. And I've only seen it once this week, and he doesn't write about baseball. He was taking on the people for the ethical treatment of animals in his column this week.
Really?
3-7-0 for Atlanta, 0-1-0 for Arizona. Hit hard into left field, a solid hit. So Galarraga leads off the inning with a solid base knock. Javi Lopez is lined to second and popped to short.
Well, he didn't want to mistreat a cat here, so he gave him a high hanging breaking ball, and Galarraga ripped one to left.
Very cute, Joe. Lopez stands in there. Considering Oklahoma's loss today, you're bearing up extremely well.
Barry is a good word.
Bearing, not Barry.
Oh. Barry would be a good word. I don't think that'll happen, though.
If it's Barry Switzer, you mean?
Yes, sir.
An upset alumni. I hate it when that happens. 0-1 the count. Runner at first, nobody out. 3-0 Atlanta. Houston, if you just joined us, lost today. So the Braves can go to 2 games up again. Texas bats in the bottom of the 9th, trailing Oakland 8-4. Seattle and Anaheim 3-3 in the 5th. Galarraga, by the way, his first 3-hit game since July 15th at New York. The Mets. 1-1, swung and missed. He had a home run cut, but it came up empty. A ball and 2 strikes to count.
Now Clarence Jones has got to get Javi Lopez back on the right track. Javi 0 for his last 19. Hit the ball hard his first time up, but lined it right at Jay Bell. He's just expanded his strike zone a little bit, chasing some bad pitches.
In on him, 2-2. The Diamondbacks wearing their purple jerseys tonight. Double play ball again. 6-4-3. Not only did he hit into a double play, he broke his bat.
For a guy who hasn't played second base much, you want to see a great turn on a double play. Watch Jay Bell. He got a horrible feed, but he just caught the ball and threw it from the same spot. He didn't bother to raise up. And on what should have been a routine play, turned into a difficult play for Jay Bell, and a nice job.
22nd double play, grounded into or hit into by Javi this year. He leads the team.
Isn't he closing in on the team record?
That I do not know. Andrew Jones is the batter.
I think Dale Murphy has the record. He's getting close to it.
Look, I went out and found out that the Diamondback uniforms are purple, something else, and copper.
Already forgotten, haven't you?
Yeah, some blue thing.
Turquoise.
You can look up the pop foul back and out play. Andrew gave us a scare early in the game when he pulled up at second, when he looked like he might try for a triple. Looked like he had hurt his leg. He stayed in there, so he must be okay. Rudy Cianez, they hope, will pitch either tomorrow or Tuesday. Test out his previously ailing wing. Line drive. Great play. Bautista, and the inning is over. He took a base hit away with a fine play. Timed it perfectly. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, nobody left. Bottom of the 6th. 3-0 Atlanta.
A lot.
As we go to the bottom of the 6th, a reminder of what's on deck brought to you by Olympic Stain. One more game here with the Diamondbacks. That's tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern time on the Superstation. A day off Monday, and then the Braves continue the road trip down in Florida to take on the Marlins on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll have the first game of that series for you beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern time against the Marlins. And the Braves come home for the last series of the year. That 3-game set with the Mets at home, and we'll have game 1 of that series for you as well.
And don't forget that game 2 of that series, you fans who have tickets, was originally scheduled at 7:10. It's been moved to 1:15 on Saturday. Karim Garcia lifts a fly ball, pretty well hit to left field, but Danny Bautista has no problem. Puts it away, 1 out. So Garcia is retired, and Anderson will hit for himself, or rather will bat for himself. He is not exactly knocked him dead as a hitter.
Okay, here's that info for you. Javi's now hit into 22 double plays. The Atlanta record 24 by Dale Murphy and 88.
I guess we shouldn't be rooting for Javi, huh? To get that.
No.
1 ball, no strikes.
strong tonight. He looks fresh. He's not laboring at all. He's hitting good spots. He's making them put the ball in play, and his defense is helping him.
Line drive, that gets through. A solid hit for the pitcher. I'll be darned. Of all people, he came into the game hitting .098, but he hit that ball sharply, to his credit. Runner at first, 1 out. Down in the truck, we have our director, Lonnie Dale, in a $2,000 suit. And Glenn in a pair of Levi's and a Serape. Runner at first, 1 out to stretch. Andy Fox, the batter, and the pitch is a little bit high. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, but Glenn gets into the flavor of the locale.
He does.
You know, so it's kind of a southwestern flavor. We'll head to Florida after the game tomorrow.
He'll be in his element there.
There's Billy the Marlin outfit on down there in Florida.
Lazy fly ball center field, pretty well hit. Well shy of the track. Andrew Jones puts it away for the 2nd out. And Jay Bell will be the batter. That's 67 pitches for Glavine in this game, with 2 out in the 6th. He's on a pretty good pace.
Do we have any feel yet, or have any indication from Bobby when we might see either Weiss or Lockhart back in the lineup? Is there any table for those guys?
It's really day to day, and he told me tonight no decisions are going to be made until next Sunday as for the roster. It's going to take them that long to get all this sorted out.
You're talking about the last day of the season?
Yeah, a week from tomorrow. So.
But these guys have got to play some, don't they?
Yeah, you would think.
If Lockhart, and you and I've talked about this before, if Lockhart can't go but could pinch hit, you could certainly use a platoon situation with Guillen and Graffinino at second base if Weiss is able to play.
It's almost decision time. Every time Walt plays, it seems to hurt it again. Three and 0 is the count to Bell, with Devon White next. There's a strike right in there.
But I hear a lot of people talk about injuries, especially to the San Diego Padres. Tony Gwynn's battled injuries all year. Caminetti's been on the disabled list. Wally Joyner's been hurt.
We got our own troubles.
Yeah, and everybody says, well, the Braves aren't as dominant as they've been. They don't seem to really put teams away like they did. They have questions in the bullpen, but nobody ever talks about how many injuries the Braves have fought through this year, too, particularly in the middle infield positions, who have been crucial.
What was that stat, Phil, you and I looked up the other day about when Weiss and Lockhart were the starting second baseman and shortstop? The pitch swung and popped up. That'll be easy. It should be. Gerald Williams puts it away, and the inning is over. When Lockhart plays second, Weiss plays short together. This year, the Braves are 40-16. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left, and to 6. 3-0 Atlanta.
Rogaine Extra Strength.
Braves baseball on the Superstation is brought to you by the 68,000 professionals at Delta Airlines, who proudly put you on top of the world, and by Rogaine Extra Strength for Men.
We go to the 7th inning. 3-0 the score. I thought Sutton had a bad haircut till I saw that guy. Danny Bautista will lead off the 7th inning. Bautista has line to center, flag to center. Or if you prefer, 2 flags. The pitch. Swung and missed. It's 0-1.
Good news is he seems to be moving pretty well. He made a couple of good plays in the outfield coming in on balls. The question mark was whether or not he'd be able to turn the corner at the bag. Straight line's okay.
But that's another question that has to be answered, isn't it? The 0-1. Ryan Klesko swung the bat quite well against left-handers the last few days. Is he going to be an everyday playoff player, or is Danny going to play left field? I don't know the answer to that either. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Do you need an extra right-handed bat on the bench or an extra left-handed bat on the bench? Curtis Pride or Danny Bautista?
Who are the pitchers? Dallas Perez, Norm Charlton. Tapper to short. Bautista unloads in a hurry. Shortstop, 1 down.
I sure like the way he gets rid of the ball. He doesn't seem to have to really cock and get a crow hop and fire across. He just gets it out of his glove quickly and has a strong enough arm just to flip it across.
He doesn't look like a shortstop. He's a sort of a stocky, thickly built young man. But he's made all the plays in these 3 games. Tony Graffinino has twice flied to center. 0-1 the count.
Changeup. Andy Bennis's changeup was the difference in his game last night. It was very effective. Anderson has been using that more in the last couple of innings.
On the count. The other thing about the playoffs, well hit, but Devon White will get there for the second out. It's a time when guys like a Tony Graffinino or a Michael Tucker can resurrect a terrible season if you get hot. If Tucker gets hot like he was at the start of the year, goodness sakes, it's going to help the
He could carry the team.
Sure.
Mark Lemke did that and made a habit of it every October.
And especially in that '91 World Series against the Twins, when by rights he should have been the MVP, and he would have been had Atlanta won. But this inning is gone in a hurry. Glavine is retired. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. It's still a 3-0 ball game.
Hey, nice crowd tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Fans, you'll want to stay with us after the game tonight, because after Braves baseball, we present the IAAF World Cup of Track and Field from Johannesburg, South Africa. And as we've been telling you, among the world-class athletes competing will be the USA's Marion Jones. That's coming up after the game on the Superstation right around 1 a.m. Eastern Time. Final in that big game, Tennessee and Florida. Tennessee wins it in OT. I'm not sure how our center field cameraman Tim Smith's taking that. Is he still with us, or is he on the deck out there? Hang in there, Smitty, you old gator, you.
Well, so much for the center field camera.
Well, we won't have that shot. How about the look on this guy behind him?
Yeah, 20-17 is the final in overtime. Here we go to the bottom of the 7th, and the heart of the order up there for the Diamondbacks. Devon White will lead it off. Glavine kicks and fires. There's a strike to start the inning. Nothing. Atlanta, our score. This is the 75th pitch of the night for Glavine. And the count evens at 1-1.
And if he hangs on to win his 20th game, he'll be the first Atlanta pitcher to win 20 games in a season 4 different times.
He's got a little ways to go, though, even if he wins to catch Spahn. Warren Spahn in Boston and Milwaukee, 13 of them. 13 20-game seasons.
And he's still got 9 outs to get.
There's one of them, or should be. Tony Graffinino puts it away, 1 down. So White is retired, and here's Travis Lee, who's lined hard to third and flied to left. Buck Showalter, one of the few managers that goes against the righty-lefty thing and goes with what really is the book. Tom Glavine really has more trouble with left-hand hitters than he does with right-handers. So they've got Fox, and they've got Garcia in right field, a left-hand hitter, and Lee, who plays every day.
I've asked Tom about that before. I've asked him if he felt that he was at a disadvantage. And as you see right there on that pitch, he said, you know, I've heard that before, but I don't understand it because I'll throw just as many change-ups to left-handers as I do to right-handers. I just don't see many lefties. That was a good pitch off speed.
But I think if you look back on his record, the left-handers hit him better than the right-handers do. Up the middle, can Graffinino get there? Can he make the throw? No. Good play, but too late. Infield hit Travis Lee. Excellent effort by Tony, but nothing doing.
Watch Ozzie Guillen. Ozzie was poised to take a little flip from Tony and get ready to throw the ball to first and help him out. And a great effort by Graffinino, just a step short.
You know what? If he had it to do over again, I think that would have been a better play.
Ozzie was ready.
Tony Batista has flied to right, line to third. Braves got 3 in the first. That's been it in this ball game. And now in the 7th. He tried to make it 3-2 with that swing. Batista with 18 homers. He's hit in 10 of his last 12 games. Big swing, and again he comes up empty.
He doesn't get cheated. Tried to pull the pitch before, and that time figured that Glavine would go away from him and guessed right, and tried to drive it to right. But it's awfully tough to get up on top of an outside pitch from that bat angle when he drops his hands below his waist.
0-2 the count. He took a shot at right field, Joe, but fouled it away.
It's a short swing.
By the way, Texas lost their game tonight to Oakland 8-4.
Take a look at the angle from holding his hands down there. It's very short, but boy, is it tough to stay on top of the ball. He's had a great year somehow. I don't know how he does it. He's the only one I've ever seen hit like this, but it works for him.
Glavine's upset. He thought he had him struck out. He made a pretty good pitch. He's been lunging for that outside pitch, so he came in on him. Almost hit him, but it might have been a strike. 1-2 the count. 1 on, 1 out, 7th inning. 3-0 Atlanta. Got it. Breaking ball, foul tipped into a strikeout. Bautista wants him to ask for help as to whether or not the ball was caught in the air, but C.B. Buckner says doesn't matter.
Hobby caught it just above the ground. His glove went to the ground, but he didn't trap it. It was already in the web.
It's only the 3rd strikeout for Glavine tonight. That's normally a good sign with him. Here's DeLucci. He's a left-hand hitter in there against the southpaw. On the outside corner, 0-1. I hate to say this, but before the game, I said to Glavine, get us out of here in about an hour and 55 minutes, will you? We're down to what he might do it. 1-1 the count. 87 pitches now. No action in the Atlanta bullpen. In fact, neither bullpen has been busy tonight. You wouldn't figure Travis Lee to be running down by 3 in the 7th unless he gets a tremendous jump.
Well, especially with a left-handed hitter up there, too. Chance to pull the ball in the hole.
Down the left field line. What a play, what a play. Danny Bautista took a double and a runaway with that outstanding catch in left field. Boy, he went as far as he could go, as they say in Oklahoma. 1 hit. No runs, no errors. 1 left at the end of 7, 3-0 Atlanta.
Digital Dan, aren't you?
on the Delta scoreboard. A lot of finals to pass along to you. Chicago's struggling in the wild card race. They lose at Cincinnati against Cincinnati. The Mets beat Florida, held on to win 4-3. The Giants only 3 back in the wild card, 18-4 with 19 hits today over the Dodgers. Pittsburgh beat Houston. St. Louis over Milwaukee. No home runs for McGuire there. San Diego leading Colorado, and Philadelphia beat Montreal 4-3. In the American League, Kansas City beat Cleveland, but Manny Ramirez had 2 more homers. Baltimore beat the Yankees.
And Guillen pops up. Stinnett is over, so is Fox. Fox calls him off. Bangs into the railing, but makes a good play. 1 out. 1 pitch.
The rest of the American League scores. Detroit got a 2-run homer from Damian Easley in the 10th to beat Minnesota. Chicago over Boston. Tampa Bay beat Toronto. Fred McGriff with his 18th homer. Oakland beat Texas. And Seattle and Anaheim tied at 3 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. For all the latest news and notes from around the diamond, as well as the box score and stats from tonight's game, click on CNNSI.com, the ultimate address for sports.
Gerald Williams is the batter. He's 2 out of 3, a 2-run homer and a double. That's a strike right in there. Williams now is 6 out of 17, a home run included against Brian Anderson.
I don't know how you can take him out of the lineup right now. I don't care who's pitching. He has raked against left-handed pitchers all year long, but he's doing it against lefties and righties right now.
That's another equation you're going to. Boy. Let's see if he tries for 2. He can run. He thought about it, but DeLucci does a good job of getting it back in. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Chipper. He's 1 for 3 tonight. And just 1 for 11 in the series.
Perhaps robbed of an RBI on the base hit his last time up. As Williams was called out at the plate on a close play.
He stroked that one into right field. Low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Just before that base hit, too, he was mad at himself. He took a pitch from Anderson and didn't even like the way he took it. He kind of had a check swing at it and was mad at himself, wanted himself to stay back a little better, and he did on the next pitch and hit it to right field.
Line left field, base hit. Fox made a good try for that ball, but he hit it too hard. Sailed right by him. A right-hander in the bullpen now for the Diamondbacks. 2 on, 1 out. A blast here would really make the way easier for Tommy Glavine.
Well, he stayed back nicely on this pitch, too. Another high breaking ball. Hit it right on the sweet spot past Andy Fox.
Mark Connor, the pitching coach, on his way to the mound. They have a right-hander in the bullpen.
Is that Banks?
We should be able to tell once we see him throw. If it is, he's not pitching like he pitches in the game.
Felix Rodriguez.
Yeah. No move forthcoming yet. C.B. Buckner is going to move things along here. Or try to.
Mark Connor worked in the New York Yankee organization for a long time, along with Buck Showalter, so they're familiar with each other's style. And we were talking last night about the improvements not only of Omar Dahl, but also of a veteran Andy Bennis. So he's doing a good job for them in the pitching staff, and I'm sure that they'll be even more improved next year.
Galarraga bats with 2 on and 1 out in the 8th. Braves on top 3-0. Houston lost today. Braves can take a 2-game lead over them with a win here. Base hit right field. Here comes Williams again around third. Again they wave it. The throw toward the plate, not this time. It pops away, but not far enough for the runners to advance. Galarraga drives in his 117th run. It's 4-0. And he went the other way with authority.
And he is 4 for 4 tonight. And an insurance run for Tom Glavine here in the 8th inning. Nice piece of hitting by Galarraga. No chance really for Garcia to get Williams this time. He had too far to go get the ball.
And a good fake. The little things in baseball. You see Travis Lee fake cutting that ball off. That stopped Chipper Jones at second base. If he just stands there like a cigar store Indian, Chipper keeps running and winds up at third. Now Stinnett to the mound. They might just be buying some time here. Let's see. Though Rodriguez should be ready. He's been throwing for quite some time. Here comes Buckner again to break it up.
Buck Nord to the plate. We may see Buck Showalter follow.
And yeah. And Javi Lopez, the batter. And that's going to do it. Here comes Showalter. I don't know what he's waiting around for. But now he makes his move to the bullpen.
Do they have one of those little cannon things that shoots T-shirts in the dugout that just fires Buck out of there? The way he comes running out of the dugout, you'd think so.
So manager Buck Showalter makes the Bell South call to the bullpen.
A lot of folks in Johnson's.
So Brian Anderson leads the game with a consecutive walkless streak of 38 1/3 innings, and Felix Rodriguez is on pitch. He's 0-2 with a high earned run average, 5.44. 41 innings, 43 hits, 26 earned runs, 4 homers, 28 walks, 36 strikeouts. Maybe Anderson should walk one every now and then, Joe. I'm not being sarcastic, but he leads the league in home runs surrendered.
And when you know a pitcher gives up at least a hit an inning, which Anderson has this year, and with no walks, you're very comfortable knowing you're going to get something to hit almost every time you go up there.
Javi Lopez, the batter. Rodriguez gets ready. 1 ball, no strikes. Javi has never faced this guy.
By the way, the 4 hits for Galarraga, a season high this year, but his career high 6 in a game. That was in 1995 in Colorado.
The 1-0 outside, 2-0. We mentioned the line on this guy. Control is often a problem. Braves bidding to break it open here in the 8th. Rodriguez out of the Dominican. He's pitched previously in the big leagues with the Dodgers and Reds. Javi may have chased ball 3. It looked like it was in on his hand.
Yeah, it looked like a bad pitch, and that goes back to what we were talking about his last at bat. He had his mind made up he was going to swing, and this ball really biting in on his hands. Not much he could do with it.
2 balls, 1 strike. Two and 2 now. Rodriguez battles back to even the count.
Tell you what, he throws hard, and he's coming from the side, and it's tough for right-handers, I would guess, to hang in there. 95 miles an hour on his last pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Chipper Jones at second, Galarraga at first. 1 out in the inning. Ground ball left field, base hit. Chipper around third. They're going to wave him. No throw to the plate. DeLucci throws it to third, and it's 5-0. Good at bat for Javi. He drives in his 103rd run of the year. So that strategy for Buck Showalter didn't pay off too well, at least not so far.
Well, only because he didn't make the right pitch. Look at the difference when you jammed Javi with a couple of good fastballs, then you leave one out over the plate. You're asking for trouble. He was ahead in the count, but he made too good a pitch, and Javi made him pay.
So it's 5-0 Atlanta, and Andrew Jones is the batter, and there's still only 1 out.
And Javi snaps out of that 0 for 20.
And the Braves have snapped out of a 2 with 12 hits. Almost hit Andrew Jones. 1 ball, no strikes. I don't think he's 100%. Even the way he acted getting out of the way of that pitch, he's a little gimpy, it looks like. Andrew has an RBI double to his credit tonight. It's 2-0. Danny Bautista scheduled to hit next. A left-hander in the bullpen for Arizona. As you see, it's Neil Weber. Broken bat pop on the infield. Infield fly rule is in effect. 2 down. Now let's see what the Braves do here. Batista's going to hit for himself. With a 5-run lead, they want his leather in there. He normally doesn't hit against right-handers. Let's see how he fares.
But why not leave him in there after that great play he made to end the 7th inning?
Rodriguez the pitch. Crossfire low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Danny was wearing one knee brace when he first started trying to do some light running at home. It looked like he might be able to come back and play. And then they fitted him with a lighter one, even though it looks huge. It's just lighter in weight. Provides him a little more flexibility.
Strike call, delayed call by Buckner. 1-1 the count. Braves have scored 2 here on 4 hits, and they lead 5-0. Into the dirt, pops away, and the runners move up. Now a base hit means 2 runs. 2 balls and a strike to count. That'll be a wild pitch, I think.
That was amazing that Stinnett even got leather on that pitch. Not only did he get leather on it, but he didn't even do it with a backhand. He just scooped it and flipped it right up into the air.
The stretch. The 2-1 pitch. Started to go, tried to stop, and did. 3-1. Glavine will be next.
Got a good arm. He's got some pretty good movement. A little more experience. Watch out.
Broken bat, Looper Lee, and the inning is over. But the Braves pick up 2 more runs. They do it on 4 hits. There were no errors and a couple runners left. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning with the Braves on top 5-0.
Hey, Jeff.
To the bottom half of the 8th inning, the Braves now leading Arizona 5-0. And fans, you can celebrate the Braves clinching of the East Division with an official clubhouse T-shirt and cap. You'll find them at the Braves clubhouse stores at CNN Center and North Point Mall, or you can order these items from the Braves catalog by calling 1-800-433-BRAVES, 8:30 to 5 o'clock Monday through Friday.
And we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Kelly Stinnett, the catcher, will lead it off. Then Kareem Garcia, and then in all likelihood a pinch hitter for the pitcher. 48,405, 19th sellout of the year for the Diamondbacks tonight. Line to the right center field. That's going to get in there for a hit. Down by 5. Tommy just laid it in there. You'd think a guy would be taking, but it was not the case. Kareem Garcia, the batter. He is grounded to second, fly to left. He was robbed of a hit, in fact, by Tony Glavine on a sharply hit ground ball his first time.
And Danny Bautista made a nice play on him, too, his last time up with a hard hit ball. Chipper probably will play off the line a little bit since he went that way.
Ben Ford in the bullpen for Arizona. Tommy win his 20th with a flourish. We got a shutout here.
Little exclamation point.
And happy Sunday to you folks back in the Southeast. The witching hour is upon us. Started to go and did.
Interesting, isn't it, Skip, about how so much was made about and know the perfect game of David Wells and how well he's pitched for the Yankees. Roger Clemens having a tremendous year for the Blue Jays. Greg Maddux had a great first 3 quarters of the season and hasn't been able to win since the end of August. And the guy who might be the first 20-game winner is Tom Glavine.
Andrews couldn't catch up with that ball. He's hurting, I'm telling you. Second and third, nobody out. He thought he was going to catch that ball, and then when he tried to turn on the afterburners, they weren't there.
He didn't play that one very well, and I don't know if it's because his leg is bothering him or if he just thought he had a beat on this one. But the ball seemed to slice over his head a little bit where he wasn't going to be able to catch it in front of him.
You can see his left leg give again there.
Yeah.
Not trying to alibi for him, but he's been gimpy all night long. Andy Stankiewicz is the pinch hitter here. And all of a sudden, we got a ball game again, unfortunately. No action in the Braves bullpen, despite 2 balls hit very hard. Strike on the corner to Stankiewicz, 0-1. He appeared here as a pinch hitter the other night and rounded out. Strike 2 called over the inside corner. Stankiewicz argues that's a pretty good pitch.
I want to show you that play, Skip, you've been talking about where it looked like Andrew might try for a triple back in the first inning, but he was held up right here by Bobby Dews. Well, no, he wasn't. He never looked at Bobby. He threw on the brakes himself, but when he did, injured himself. It was as he was trying to get back into second base.
0-2 the count. Wish now he'd have kept running. I think he'd made it. Infield back, of course, for that. A little looping pop fly to Glavine. There's the first out. Been a lot of those in this game today for both teams. Andy Fox, the batter, and Jay Bell moves on deck. Infield will stay back for Atlanta. Still no action in the Atlanta bullpen. This is Tom Glavine's game, at least for now.
Back to my point I was going to make a minute ago, though, about Tom Glavine. There, a lot of other guys get a lot of national press. Tom Glavine just kind of plods along, does his job, and he will be the first 20-game winner if he can hold on here.
He needs 5 more outs on the corner.
And another guy who's like him is Kevin Tapani in Chicago, who also has 19 wins.
I didn't realize that till I looked it up tonight. I knew he had had a good year, but Braves have out hit him 12-5. He got away with a pitch upstairs that time. A ball and 2 strikes. Final game of the series here tomorrow. We'll have it for you at 4 o'clock. Amari Telemaco against Bruce Chen. 1-2 the count. It's even now, 2-2. Jay Bell, the on-deck batter. 100 pitches for Glavine, and they're beginning to stir in the Atlanta bullpen.
Let's see a breaking ball here to Fox, who's crowding the plate, trying to make sure he doesn't give up on a changeup away.
Two balls, 2 strikes. He's run it full. Don't want to do that. 3-2.
And didn't come close with that fastball.
Gary Lichtenberg is the man in the bullpen. weather's nice in here, but we've got to remember it was 95 degrees at game time when they opened the roof. He walked in and they're loaded. First walk of the night. And he was ahead in the count and let him get away. Well, now we're down to cases. Here's Jay Bell with Glavine White on deck. And there's only one out.
Lichtenberg hasn't had time to get loose yet, and I think it's good, too, that Bobby Cox is letting Tommy try to get out of this himself. They're his runners, his runs. He's still got a 5-0 lead.
I assume that's John Rocker that's also working in the pen, and there is a strike to Bell, who has flied to left single and flied to right and is 20 out of 70, a 286 average against Glavine, a home run included.
And you're right, Skip, that is Rocker.
Little tapper, let that thing go foul. It does. And the count is 0-2. That ball here, though, doesn't go foul as readily as it does in most ballparks.
No, it doesn't seem that the slope from the dirt or from the grass edge to the foul line in fair territory doesn't seem to slope away from the line like it normally does.
And if you're new to baseball, the reason Chipper Jones grabbed that ball when he did, if it hits a pebble and bounces back fair before it gets to the base or before it crosses the base, it is, in fact, a fair ball. Glavine gets a new baseball. 0-2 the count.
Jay Bell really hasn't made it a secret tonight that he's trying to pull the ball. Fly to right his last time up, but he's trying to get out around everything Glavine's throwing him.
The 0-2. Strike 3 call over the inside corner. Bell argues about it, but he's history. Tommy picked a pretty good time for his 4th strikeout of the night, but he's not out of the woods yet. Here's Glavine White.
Trying to pull. Tommy locked him up with a pitch inside and looked like a pretty good one.
Yeah, I don't know what he had to argue about there.
Crossed Bell up, who was looking for something away and was trying to guard the plate. More or less jammed himself.
Glavine White is 1 out of 13 against Glavine, but he has 21 home runs, most of them as a left-hand hitter. Still, he's a dangerous guy up there.
I don't know about you, Skip, but I just like what's happening here. Tom's got a comfortable lead. He's over the 100-pitch mark. That's fine. It'd be easy for Bobby to go out there and say, I just want somebody else to finish up the game. But he's giving Tom a chance to get out of this inning himself and not let somebody else give up his runs. Perhaps let Tommy do the work to get out of it.
1-1 the count. The next pitch might be hit out of the park, but I agree with you. He bends so often and so seldom breaks.
Yes. And he wants the ball here. He doesn't want somebody else to have to clean up the mess.
The 1-1 pitch. A little bit outside. 2 balls and a strike. A walk here, a base hit, brings a potential tying run to the plate, and that would not be good news.
He has had Glavine White tonight. You saw the numbers in his career. He has struggled against Glavine. But tonight, Glavine has not hit the ball out of the infield.
You can see how well he's done in spots like this. There's the pitch that separates him from most pitchers right there.
And that's the pitch that's eaten White up alive tonight. Change up.
Away. Let's see if he comes in on him, too. It worked on Bell. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Gonna have to throw another changeup. He hasn't hit one all night.
They're setting up outside. Fastball, but he hit it foul to right. Anaheim now leads Seattle, by the way, 5-3 in the 7th. Texas lost their game tonight. the game, the night 2 games back Broken bat, Tapper to second. Should end the inning. Graffinino to first. Like I said, he bends, but he doesn't break. Great job by Glavine to get himself out of a mess. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 3 big runners left. We go to the 9th. 5-0 Atlanta.
TBS destination.
Ben Ford is on to pitch, young right-hander. As we go to the 9th inning, he worked an inning Wednesday night against the Giants. A home run to J.T. Snow. Spent most of the year at Tucson. His first year in AAA.
It's another guy that throws a little across his body and a little side arm, makes it tough for right-handers, especially when he's 6'7".
So there's a Ford in Tony Graffinino's future as he leads off the 9th. Graffinino tonight has been at least consistent. He's flied to center 3 times. Ford was 2-5 in 48 games at Tucson with a 4.35 earned run average. He did have 13 saves and 63 strikeouts in 68 innings, and he deals a strike to the Atlanta second baseman. 0-1 the count.
Tom Glavine in the on-deck circle, too, to stay in the game. He wants to be on the mound when he wins his 20th.
I'll take my chances with him, too, even if it was after his first. 0-2 the count. If he gets 3 more outs, he'll become the first major leaguer to win 20 games in 1998. Strike on the corner. Graffinino caught looking, 1 out in the 9th.
Good pitch. I think Don has talked about this type of delivery in the past, Skip. As a guy, if you throw across your body that much, you have to be awfully strong to get your arm around it. This guy's 6'7", over 200 pounds, and it's almost like he's throwing to you from the shortstop position from that angle.
Glavine had a lusty cut, but missed. Well, a home run would make it a perfect day for him. Ford out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And Indian River Community College. That's down in Florida, isn't it? Joe?
I don't know.
You what?
First time all year, I had to tell you.
That's true. 1-2 the count. Tommy Glavine's earned run average is now 2.54 as we will go to the bottom of the 9th. Started to go. Underneath the ball. And the count goes to 2-2. Sit down and rest, Tom. 2 out here. The way this Ford is pitching, he's no Model T, boy. He's been tough.
Ozzie again spoke to Glavine as he was headed back to the dugout. And Ozzie didn't waste any time getting to the plate. He just takes a look over his shoulder to make sure Tommy's back in the dugout. But it was almost like he asked him if he wanted him to take a pitch or 2.
Strike call. I don't think Tommy cares. I think he's ready to go right back after him. He's let me down tonight. I asked him to do it in 155. I have to visit with him about that. Look out, is he? 1-1 the count. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th. The Diamondbacks have Travis Lee, Tony Batista, and David DeLucci due against Glavine. Screen again.
The crossfire fastball.
As he's saying, caramba. Or something like that. I know what he's saying.
You're very linguistic, but I'm not sure that's what he said.
I think we both know what he said. 2-1. Little tapper toward third. Fox to first, and the inning is 1, 2, 3, nothing doing. Bottom of the ninth. Braves lead it 5-0.
All right, we go to the bottom half of the ninth inning. Braves on top 5-0. We've been talking about Tom Glavine's effort to win his 20th game. It would also be the Braves' 100th win of the year, and they would join the ranks of these teams with consecutive 100-win seasons. These teams have done it since 1969, including 3 straight years by the Baltimore Orioles beginning in 1969.
Travis Lee leads it off. He has 1 for 3. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times. He's a good-looking young hitter. Steve Reich, outside corner, 0-1.
Wow. Be a fast inning if Tommy gets a couple more of those calls.
Up the middle, Guillen, good play. 1 out. That is a nice start to the night. Glavine has pitched so well, we haven't even checked out the swimming pool tonight, have we?
Quick feet by Ozzie on this play. He got to the ball, but then quickly got his feet set so he'd get rid of the ball. And a good throw.
Tony Batista, the batter. 0 for 3. A little low. 1 ball, no strikes. Oh, swell. Can't be fun at the old pool. One and 1 the count. Batista has flied to right, line to third, and struck out. The 1-1 pitch. Swung and fouled away again. It's 1 and 2. 1 out of the ninth. Braves would go to 156 and Glavine to 20 and 6. Pretty good night's work if we can get 2 more outs. Didn't get one there. A solid single left. So Batista aboard with 1 out. No action in the Atlanta bullpen. But it won't take Leitenberg long if needed. He was up throwing in the 8th. And here we go again.
See Alan Butts hustle like that, you know he's got work to do.
Alan's our bullpen catcher. To the mound. Out there. Safe there. Ozzie was cheating a little bit toward the hole, and Tommy had to wait before he got him to throw, and that slowed things down a little bit. Bang, bang play at first. Kelly Stinnett's the batter with 2 out.
Plus, you want to make sure you don't lead him too fast and get it into center field. So you want to make sure you got the lead runner. And I think they got both guys anyway.
It was mighty close. Kelly Stinnett. 1 for 3. A first pitch single an inning ago. Runner at first, 2 out. The Braves concede him a base. Chopper to Chipper the foul. 0-1. Final game of the series tomorrow. We'll have it for you at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Amari Telemaco against Bruce Chen.
And the next pitch for Tom will be number 120 on the night. 20 being an operative word there tonight.
That would be a good one to end it off. Way out in front of the breaking ball. So the count goes to 0-2. The count.
He's swinging at just about everything. A changeup might be good. Well, they move inside.
and get him, and the ball game is over, and Tom Glavine has 20, and the Braves have won 100 games. Everybody's going to mob Tom Glavine here. And the Braves come away a winner by a final score of 5-0.
And it's all right to smile, Tom. He's trying to keep it off his face, but there it is. Nice job. He won 20 games in 1991, 20 games in 1992, went 22-6 in 1993, and he returns as a 20-game winner here in 1998. Remember last year, he really struggled getting decisions. He pitched great, an ERA under 3, but only went 14-7. He was the tough luck guy last year. Tonight, he is our AutoZone player of the game and picks up his 20th win of the year against 6 defeats. And he's also now 12-2 on the road, and it's his 4th complete game and his 3rd shutout of the year. Congratulations to Tom Glavine. Back to wrap things up from the Bob right after this.
Dilbert for Office Depot.
Okay, the Braves have won 100 games, and our guest has won 20 of them. First of all, Tommy, congratulations. Great job tonight, and a great year for you and for the ball club.
Well, it has been. Thank you. You know, obviously, I'm thrilled to death to win my 20th, you know, and excited about the way we've played here the last week or so. So everything's starting to come together a little bit. Guys played outstanding defense behind me tonight and helped me out a lot, so everything worked out well. Last year, you pitched in a lot of frustration. You won 14 games, but could have won so many more, and your ERA was under 3. Did that give you any more incentive this year to, in a game like tonight, where you go out there and finish things up yourself? Well, you know, it does a little bit. You know, obviously what happened last year, you can't do anything about it, but I think at the same time, I felt good about how I threw the ball last year, and honestly, you know, wanted to try and do the same thing this year. And I really haven't thrown the ball any better than I did last year. I've just gotten better results. And, you know, a game like tonight, you don't get an opportunity to get too many shutouts. So when you do, you want to stay out there and try and get it. And, you know, I got out of a pretty good jam there in the 8th inning. And, you know, really, other than that, things went pretty well. But like I said, the guys played tremendous defense for me.
I know it's of secondary concern to you, but let's face it, you're the first major league pitcher to win 20 games this year. The Cy Young would appear to be within your grasp. How do you feel about it?
Well, you know, I've said all along, I just wanted to keep pitching well, hopefully get the 20 wins, and then whatever happens, happens. Just trying to get myself in contention. And, you know, I don't vote on it. I don't know how people feel. All I can do is try and put up good numbers and create an opportunity for myself. And I think I've certainly done a decent job of getting some recognition, hopefully. But, you know, there's some guys out there that are having some great years as well. So, you know, I just wanted to get to 20 tonight and then take my chances and see what happens.
Yeah, there are some guys having good years, but you're the first one to get to the 20-win level. It was, as you said, a little shaky there in the 8th inning. Not so much for the win, but for the shutout. And even though the bullpen was busy, I thought it was a real credit to Bobby Cox that he was going to give you the chance to get out of that jam and not leave the bases loaded jam to somebody else. He was going to give you a chance to get out of it, and as a result, be on the mound for your 20th win. I thought that was pretty good.
Well, that's one of the great things about Bobby, and one of the things that goes unnoticed a lot of times. You know, when people talk about him being a player's manager, they wonder what that means sometimes. But a night like tonight was an example of that. You're absolutely right. He gave me an opportunity to stay in the game right there. And obviously, things I've done over the years have, you know, given myself that opportunity when that comes around. And Bobby's going to give me the chance every now and then. You know, but then again, in the 9th inning, my pitch count was kind of high, and, you know, he asked me how I felt, and I told him I wanted to try and get it, and he respected my opinion enough that I was telling him the truth and gave me a shot to go out and get it, and it worked out.
Tommy, go get some ice on that arm, and thanks a million for taking that. You didn't have to stop, because I know you want to get it iced down, but we appreciate it very much. And again, our sincere congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay. Thank you guys very much.
That's Tom Glavine, and for being our guest, he receives a Kodak Advantix camera featuring drop-in film loading in 3 picture-size formats. The Kodak Advantix system, the easy way to take pictures, but not the easy way to read the card. And we'll be back right after this.
Aren't you?
Braves Baseball on the Superstation is brought to you by the smooth, rich taste of Michelob. Beer or Michelob. By Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide. And by EverStart Battery. All the cold cranking power your truck, car, boat, or more will ever need. Available at Walmart.
the Atlanta Braves become the first National League team since the 1976-77 Philadelphia Phillies to have consecutive 100-win seasons with their victory tonight, a 5-0 whitewashing of the Diamondbacks. 12 hits for the Braves, 6 for Arizona, 5 men left on base for Atlanta, 7 for Arizona. Anderson, the loser, 12 and 13. We just talked about Tom Glavine's 20th win, 48,405, and that's the 19th sellout here this year for the expansion team. The game, maybe not an hour 55, Skip, but it took only 2:18.
Dan, that's good enough when you win. Log on to CNNSI.com for the latest scores and news from around the diamond. That's CNNSI.com, the ultimate address for sports. Same 2 teams tomorrow. We'll have it for you at 4 o'clock. Coming up next this week in baseball, and then at 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, don't forget the 1AAF World Cup of Track and Field from Johannesburg, South Africa. For Joe Simpson, Pete Van Weeren, Don Sutton, our entire TBS crew, Skip Carey from Phoenix. The Braves a winner tonight, 5-0. So long, everybody.
The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports, a Time Warner company.